Ableton Live does not have particularly native support for feedback routing. What I mean by this is that while some Ableton audio effects, notably the delay and roar effects, have feedback options to feed the output of the effect back into the input, there isn't really an easy way to do an entire chain of effects and feed the output back into the input of the whole chain. There is a way to create feedback with Ableton's routing by routing one track to another and that other track back to, I think, the original track or something like that, but it's pretty hard to control the delay time, and I really just don't like using return tracks, and it's hard to bounce things with them, and that's just not how I'd like to do feedback in Ableton. However, you may be aware that Max for Live is extremely powerful, and there's even a specific audio routing library developed by Cycling94 to do kind of custom routing even within tracks in Ableton. Using the audio sender Max device and the audio receiver Max device, I've created a custom audio effect rack that lets you put whatever audio effect rack you've already built into the middle of it and basically send the output back to the input with a delay that you can control and a gain amount you can control. So basically, if you have an audio effect rack that you like and you want to try feedback on it, you can just drag that to the middle of this effect and start turning the knob up to introduce some feedback. Okay, let's try this out. So if you just start with the effect on its own, it's already a feedback effect just on the raw signal. We can play with the feedback amount and the delay time. Now let's drag an effect into the middle here. So let's try vocoder because it doesn't natively support feedback. So you can see that if we start out, it's just a normal vocoded version of our input audio. But if we start turning the feedback up, something crazy will happen. Feedback works especially well when there is a filter that kind of filters only certain frequencies of the signal before sending it back to the input. So I've included an EQ8 right before we send back to encourage you to create a certain frequency response and get a kind of more natural sounding feedback. I've also put limiters at 2 places in the signal chain to stop things from just clipping to infinity immediately. Even with the limiters, things do clip, and I think the Max for Live devices kind of glitch out and break sometimes, especially when you're changing the delay time. But I used the largest look ahead possible, so hopefully that's, as good as it can get. I had to actually modify the audio sender Max for Live device just because originally it would, for some reason, depend on the panning and the gain of the track that it's on, which we don't want because this is only internal to the audio effect rack. So I actually had to hack that and just get rid of the part that scales it there. You can create this whole thing for free because I literally just told you how to do it. But if you want to support me, I'm DJ Make Clean on Gumroad, and you can just buy this device ready to go for $8.